soon as I start. There goes the weed eater. Oh well. Hope it doesn't sound god awful. Maybe I should run it back just in case. We're doing things a little different today because I am on my summer break at work. And so my wife is currently out doing yard work, so I'm gonna film my June update out here. And I'm actually on time this time. It's June 29th, only 1.5 days left in the month. It's currently 10:49 a.m. I'm out here with my laptop so I can have my list. I actually wrote a list this time, so I'm not just umming the entire time. I probably will anyway, but I'm working on that. I'm working not being insufferable to watch. So I guess we'll just start with the obvious. I sprained my wrist at work. The children, obviously, the children have gotten quite heavy. They're about to move up. And so my 2-year-olds are becoming 3-year-olds, and 3-year-olds are big. And I think working at Whirlpool really just screwed up how the muscles, I guess, in my wrists, because they were not this week before. But I picked up a kid from under their shoulders to pick him up, and my wrist went and cracked backwards and made a really bad sound. And I thought at first, I'm like, that's fine. I mean, I hurt myself all the time, but then it didn't get better. So I went to the walk-in clinic. I had to pay like $200 even with insurance because I've not met my minimum, because my poor dad had to retire early because of his seizures. He's diagnosed with epilepsy at all 56 years old. And so he's on Medicare. And the insurance I'm on is the old insurance, so we're not even close to meeting our premium. So I used to have an insurance anyway. I had to pay all of it. Yeah, I'm in the brace for 3 weeks total until July 19th, which of course all summer break I'm gonna have to have it on. I don't have to wear it. I have to wear it all the time for the first 2 weeks, and then after the second week it's over. So like, I guess sometime tomorrow, no, Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday, I can take it off at home and stuff, and I won't be working anyway, so it won't be too bad. But it's not been a pleasant experience. It's very difficult to handle children and have a brace on your dominant hand. I'm having to let my co-teacher do a lot of the heavy lifting, which is hard when the children only want to be held and coddled. And I literally had a child the other day poop, and when my co-teacher was like, well, let's go get you changed, he said, no, Miss Grace do it. Child. Go get your bottom changed by somebody else. But that's been fun. That's been a time. I've never broken a bone before. I have sprained my ankle one time way long ago in the 4th grade, I want to say. No, 5th grade. I think I had played basketball at the time. There she goes. She's running to the shed with her little noise-canceling headphones on. So with that out the way, I guess I'll just talk about some of the things that happened to me this past June. I guess if that interests you. She got the rake. There she goes. She running. So over June, I did a couple... What? Are you coming? Are you coming to say hi? Thank you. There she goes. Okay. Anyway, over June, I did several different things. I've been trying to do a lot more than just sitting and doing nothing at the house. But thankfully, over the next couple weeks in July, I'm having my half days back. So, and I'm not going to the dentist that as often. I just recently had to get cavities filled, which were really painful because they were way back here. And my jaw, even now, if I open my mouth too wide, my jaw is still sore. It was real rough because they had to stick me with all sorts of numbing medicine, keep my mouth open for a long time. But thankfully, I don't go back till September, so August is pretty much going to be free. But August, July, I've not even made it through July yet. But June. So during June, I went to the Honeybee Festival, which it's the first ever honeybee festival my town has had, and it was put on by a old historical settlement down near where my parents lived. And that was a time. We had lots of fun. We got this cool little like peachy dinosaur Jurassic Park themed drink. It was like peach, Lord, I don't remember now what it was called, but it was peach flavored. I should have taken a picture of the sign because it was really cute. It was like peach lemonade thing with like little peach rings on the straw. And we looked, there was like a little honeybee display, and local vendors who were just, selling things like obviously honey themed items, but there was also like, a hair tinsel place and like a craft, to sell like leather works and stuff, like the typical like small business type things. But the funny thing about that story is it had rained the previous night, and there was the actual parking at the place. There wasn't a lot of parking there, so most people went to park at the school, the elementary school beside it. There's a big open field where people park. Well, so I whip up into that field, and I go to whip into a parking spot, and I get stuck because it is just like mud central, and you couldn't even see it. I didn't even see it until I went to go turn, but it was too late because once I turned, I was stuck. And I tried to go forward, I tried to go backwards, I was just stuck. But thankfully, my daddy lives close by, come to the rescue once again. And I call him and I ask him, I said, I need help. And he said, hold on, let me come on. So he gets in his truck and gets like the rope chain thing, whatever. And while we're waiting, I'm like embarrassed because here I am stuck in the mud, people having to drive around me. And this guy comes in a golf cart and he's like, are you stuck? And I go, yeah, but I got help. He goes, well, we got chains or whatever. And I'm like, no, my dad's coming, I'm okay. This man don't know what he's doing at all. No way I'm trusting him. Here rolls up my dad. And when he rolls up, this big old, the other truck, like this big truck, goes to back out to leave. They're stuck too. And I thought I thought my short little stubby car, I thought it was something I did. That big old truck was stuck, and so she had to call her husband. So my dad rolls up with his dog, of course, and he gets on the ground and he's doing whatever with the rope, and he gets back in his car. Somebody stole the freaking hitch off his truck. I'm like, really? People are just, why would you steal? I mean, I know why you steal a hitch off a truck, it's expensive, but what's the point? Thankfully he had something else to stick in the truck so he could pull me out, but he pulls me out relatively easy. But at that point, several people were coming back to their cars because we came a little later. Several people were coming back to their cars, and nobody was getting out. Nobody could get out of the field. They were all stuck in the mud. So my dad hightailed it out there because he didn't want to get stuck helping 5 bajillion people. And then I just went back on the little road, and I went and parked all the way down at the school, and I just said, we're gonna walk. So we walked down there, and we saw the festival, and we had fun, and then we walked back. That was certainly an experience. Our next event on the list is Pride. It is Pride Month officially, and normally in Tennessee our official Pride Month is in October, but several smaller places have Pride events in June because June is like the National Pride Month, of course. And so we went to a Pride event with a good friend of ours and her 2 kids at our local mall. Last year it was at a coffee shop, and it was much too small of a venue for the amount of people who came. So this year they went and rented out a space in a restaurant in the mall for us to be in, which, funnily enough, was too small this year. We had a lot of fun though. There was free food, and there wasn't a lot of vendors. There was like 3 or 4 vendors. It's a relatively small thing in comparison to the big one they have in Chattanooga every year in October. But it was cute. I mean, there was a couple little things, and they had a little raffle. We didn't do the raffle this year though, because we didn't stay very long. Because funnily enough, the freaking heat wave of it's been so freaking hot, 107 degrees. The air conditioning was out all over the mall, so it was living hot, like hotter than hell in that fucking room, especially with all those people in there. Oh my lord. So we ate, well, we walked around and then we ate and then we left, because also we have like, he's 7, he just turned 7, and the little boy he's 2.5. So we didn't want them to sit in the heat that long either. And so we walked around the mall, and we bought some stuff from our local anime coffee shop. I got a lemonade with popping passion fruit boba. It was really good. And we didn't really buy anything. Oh no, we went to I didn't buy anything, but we went to the local comic book shop. And little boy, he's into Pokemon, and so he bought a little Pokemon manga, and we looked at the Pokemon cards together. The older boy, not the younger boy. But me and the older boy looked through the Pokemon cards, and his mama bought him a Pokemon book. His favorite is Sun and Moon, he told me. And so we walked around there for a little while, and then after we were done with that, we went to Goodwill, and we shopped around the Goodwill, and I thrifted me this really cute outfit, which it was a little expensive for the Goodwill, but like, well, I'm shaking, but everything's expensive at the Goodwill now, so what are you gonna do? So I guess we will move on to the media hobby portion. I don't remember what I called it last time, but it's fine. So what have I been listening to in June? Let's see. My first top artist currently is Mitski. I don't know why. Amber made a comment about this yesterday, why I'm listening to sad music lately. I don't know. I don't know if it just makes me feel better or if it actually makes me worse. I put on my all-girl playlist, but because Spotify's algorithm or whatever, because I've been listening to so many sad genres or whatever, it only played like the sad songs from that playlist. She's like, why is all your upbeat songs? And she listed off some, and I'm like, it's the same playlist, it's just choosing to play like these slow, like melancholy songs. My next artist is unsurprisingly Pierce Savelle, Forever Morning, that I did not go to their concert, but apparently it's not been too hot. Any concerts haven't been. The traffic's been awful. People haven't been getting to shows until like 3 hours in, and then apparently there was one show where they only played like half the amount of songs they usually played. Apparently it's all a big disaster, so maybe it was best I didn't go and pay $500 for a ticket. And then next we have Billie Eilish. Again, she is up in there. I really am into Everything I Wanted and What Was I Made For and Male Fantasy. I feel like those are the top 3 songs that really circulate through my playlist. And then we've got 5 on this one. I guess because it's actually the end of the month and not the beginning of the month. My 4th one is My Chemical Romance. Again, unsurprisingly. I mean, I've been a fan of My Chemical Romance since like 2012. So there's no beating it. And then a newcomer, I guess I should say, for number 5 is TV Girl. I've been really obsessed with TV Girl lately. I don't know if it's just like the vibe or like what it is, but I'm really into the song Not Allowed and Cigarettes Out the Window, I think is what that one's called. And there's another one. Oh, I can't remember now. Again, it's just like depressing songs. Maybe it just makes me feel better. I don't know. There's a little red spot beside my little freckle. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm looking at. Next, we've got... No, I've got to scroll. Forgive me, I'm on my laptop. Because it's portable. So it's a little harder to navigate. My number one track this month is Mariana Cross again. Oh no! I just realized I've been filming this in the wrong direction. You know what? It's just gonna have to be that way. Okay. Anyway. Wow, that's annoying. That just ruined my whole vibe, all 16 minutes. Number 2 is Put Me in a Movie, that unreleased Lana Del Rey song. Again, sad, depressing, whatever. I guess I'm really into like the childhood trauma. I guess since oh no, I've lost it. I've lost my trail. I'm dribbling off. Because the next one is Abby by Mitski. That is really just, again, it frequents my playlist because I guess the characters I like are all sad and depressing. And then the next one is The 4th of July by Stefan Stevens. I listened to the 14-minute version the other day because everyone was like raving about it. I didn't like it. I mean, it was okay, but like, I think the original one is more impactful to me. It's a lot sadder. It's a really sad song. I guess I'm just into sad songs. Okay, I said I was going to do a lot of stuff media-wise this month, and I did not. But that's okay, because I ended up getting into some other things. I did read on my book a little more, and I realized in the last video, I told you I was reading it, but I didn't actually say anything about it. So I know I'm way behind on reading, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because they're already in the midst of making the Sunrise on the Reaping movie. But it's a big, thick book. And no, I've not been reading it at work. I've been reading it when my wife does yard work. But what I really find myself enjoying the book, which funnily enough, the people on the internet, back when it came out, people were like obsessed with the book and the movie. But ever since Sunrise on the Reaping came out, they all talked about how awful it was, how they hated it. People are just so quick to flip. But I'm liking it a lot so far. I really like that, of course, we all know Cornelius Snow is not a good person. But I like how his character in the book is definitely flawed, and you can definitely see like the narcissism and like the trauma of like seeing his friends cannibalizing people and going through the war, and how he's not a bad person per se, but you can definitely like see the telltale signs of he's not really a good person either. And there are several things where it's like he's putting on a front, like he doesn't I read the one where his classmate, her throat gets slit by the tribute, and he doesn't act because he wants to save her. He acts because he doesn't want to look bad. And I find that really interesting, because a majority of books you read, the character is good. It's morally good. They make morally good decisions. They're good people. They do good things because they're good. But with the ballad, it's like, we know that Cornelius is bad, but like at the time, if you never watched the trilogy, never read the trilogy, and you just read the book standalone, yeah, he's kind of morally questionable, but like, how much is it like the trauma he endured? How much is it that he's just, because narcissism, I think I looked it up for, can be like hereditary, strangely enough, but it also can be developed. So like, how much of it is like nature versus nurture? And maybe I'm just reading too much into it, but I really like that he's not a good character. Really, he's not a good person. He doesn't do things because he wants, out of the goodness of his heart. He does things what makes him look good, what will get him ahead, that kind of thing. And I really like that. And then I did not, in fact, watch Hannibal. I did not, in fact, watch The Rings of Power. I found myself watching the English dub of Wow. Kyoko. 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 Tokyo. I don't know why that struggled to come to my brain. Mew Mew Power is what it's called in English, so that's what I'm gonna call it. It's free on YouTube, actually. Hello, bug. But we were really confused because we found it and it's like episode 1. We click it and it definitely was not episode 1. We were like, what the heck? Because my wife watched it way back when and she wanted to watch it again. And I had never seen it, and I'm always into anime. So we pulled it up, and apparently when it was released in the US, episode 12 was the premiere episode for whatever reason. So it's labeled as episode 1, but it, like, chronologically, it's episode 12. And so we watched episode 2, which is episode 1, and we're just gonna jump back to episode 1 after we watch episode 10, which is actually 11. But anyway. And let me tell you, we're watching the dub, and let me tell you that it's bad, but like it's like that one anime series, like the Ghost Files or whatever, like the English dub. It's just so bad. It's good. It's like cringy, but like it's funny. Love the bugs make me lose my train of thought. They're everywhere, and I'm covered in bug spray too. It's just wild. The Chico is Zoe. And then we've got Mint, who is Kiera. I call them by their Japanese names because I don't really remember. Lettuce is Charlotte. Charlotte? Is it Charlotte? I can't remember now. I've only gotten that far. Oh, and Mark. Mark. She's in love with Mark. I think it's real funny. It's not funny. Maybe I'm not making it sound funny, but it's real funny in hindsight. I've only gotten to the portion where she gets on the gymnastics team, and she's like, I can't use my magical powers, but I can only do it if Mark's there. And then Mark doesn't show up, and she's like, I can't do my routine. And then Mark shows up, and then all of a sudden she can do the routine. But then alien man who kissed her 2 episodes back for whatever reason comes down and brings in like this mutated seal. Speaking of, the monsters in that anime are freaky. For being a kids show dubbed by 4 kids. I think I don't remember any of the details, but like the little spirit thingies that infect the animals, freaky. Oh my lord, they're so freaky. And blonde man, I don't remember his name either, but he's real stick in the mud, and he being all hateful. It's a really wild time, and I'm not even sure if I'm following along very much, but that's that. And then for video games, I've not been kind of lacking in the video games too. I've played a lot of Baldur's Gate. I've sunk, let me pull it up. I've sunk, I think 10 more hours into it. I'm at a total of 19 and a half compared to whatever I was before. I play for long amounts of time. I even got to the point where like the game just like crashed and would not load for the life of me, and so I had to go in and like delete some stuff so it can fix, because my driver is technically out of date. But I ain't gonna pay no money for a driver graphics card, whatever the crap it is, that works just fine. I defeated the hag. I did it. I successfully saved the woman, and then I brought her husband back to life. He was a zombie, and so she went off to go help him not be a zombie. And then I went back to camp, and Carlac and Will met for the first time, and they just were like button heads. And then I managed to get them level, and then Will gave me this cryptid message of, oh, his little people are gonna come get him. And I'm like, what the crap does that mean? And then Carla's like, I need my heart to be fixed up because it's a machine. And I'm like, hello? And she's like, I wish, she asked me, she said, I wish I could have a hug. And I'm like, that's really depressing. Why y'all doing all this? And then Dale, I feed him another magical artifact, and he's like, it just didn't work. I need to tell you what's wrong with me. And then just right in the middle of because we're in the middle of the goblin camp when this happens. Right in the middle of the goblin camp, he like gets to his knees and he gets my hand on his chest and he's showing me all his memories and stuff, and tells me about the goddess and what he did to win her favor or whatever. And I'm like, this is a whole lot of trauma dumping right here at the moment, but it's fine because I told him I literally don't care. It literally doesn't bother me. Nothing. Literally, Shadowheart tells me she's a follower or whatever. I'm like, I don't care. Charlotte tells me she's got a machine heart. I don't care. I'm just like, come along. And finally enough, I get back to camp, and Asterian's like, I've got something to tell you too. And I'm like, you too? And he's like, I'm a vampire. You mean I didn't know that? I didn't know that already? The teeth and the red eyes and the pale skin wasn't obvious enough? I guess technically he didn't tell me before, but like, I kind of thought it was obvious. But then I guess it does make a little sense because he's out in the sun and all that stuff. But like the little maggot in his head is like helping with that. So I guess technically it does make sense that I wouldn't know because a vampire shouldn't be able to do all that. It just was real funny because I was like, wow, totally unexpected. I had no idea that you were a vampire. And besides Baldur's Gate, I've played a little bit of Stardew Valley. Just the typical, I'm in spring now. I just took on the quest to ship 100 potatoes before the month's end, which I'm hoping is not too hard. I just went and bought out a bunch of potato seeds. And I just recently fixed up the greenhouse, so I just plopped them in there. The layout in my greenhouse is atrocious. It's on my Switch, so I don't know, but if I can eventually screenshot and pull it up, I'll put it up here. I might not though, it just depends. But I'm getting along. I'm getting along pretty well. And I guess that's really it. I mean, I've not done too much else than that. That's really what's been going on in my life. I'm ready for this break. I'm ready to not go to work for a week. I've got a little 4th of July thing planned, not because I mean, I just like parties. We're having a little cookout in my little fire pit over here. I bought this little like crystal stuff that's supposed to change the flames color. That'll be stuff I'm sure I'm talking about at the end of July. My July recap. But for right now, I'm at 30 minutes. And I hope that this doesn't doesn't look terrible because I did, in fact, film it in vertical when I'm supposed to film it in horizontal. Fun. Cicadas. This is gonna be the hell. Ooh. I know I live in the middle of Timbuktu, but like, I do love summer. I think my wife went in. I think she's been up for about 2 minutes now. I should have the video. Bye.